Hi everyone, this is Dr. Hotami. In this video, we're going over the platelets. So platelets is another form elements of the blood. So as we discussed before, blood is a connective tissue, and like the other connective tissue, we have to define the cells and extracellular matrix for the blood. So the extracellular matrix is plasma and the cells are called formed elements. So we separated the blood components into form elements and plasma, and as you already know, form elements composed of RBCs, white BCs, and platelets. So in a previous videos, we talked about the RBC, white BC's structure function, and right now we are going over the platelets, which is the part of the form elements also called as thrombocyte, and actually they are not the true cells. They are the pieces of a large cell called megakaryocyte. Look at this huge cell. This huge cell, it has many nuclei. So these are the nuclei would be found this very large cell. And we call this large cell as megakaryocytes, a cell with huge number of nuclei. So then this cell would be fragmented, and each fragment is called a platelet. Okay, so that's the reason we say, oh, platelet is not a true cell. It's just fragments of a large cell megakaryocytes. But what is the function of the platelet? Why do we have platelets in our blood? So as you remember, one of the blood function is protection against bleeding. So then the blood clotting can happen and the platelets would be involved in formation of clot, which is called blood clotting or coagulation or hemostasis. Hemostasis. So it means stopping the bleeding. The blood clot formation or coagulation is a very, very complex process which there are too many like enzymes and factor would be involved, and one of them which is important for blood clot process is vitamin K. So vitamin K is necessary for blood clotting. Let's see, when the puncture happens at blood vessel, what would be the process to heal it? So as you can see here, we have a blood vessel, and just say we have a puncture in our blood vessel. So obviously the blood cells, plasma can be leaked from this punctured site, right? But automatically it's gonna be stopped. How? Because there are like too many clotting factors, enzyme, and also calcium ions, which they can participate in clot formation. And the platelets can be collected here, adhere to these puncture sites, and they can form a plug. So the first thing that we can see that the platelets, which they are freely moving in our blood when the puncture happening, so all of these platelets would be collected here and adhere to the puncture site and make a plug. So plug formation gonna happen, which is composed of the platelets. And then these platelets and damaged blood vessel can release some factors which they can initiate cascade of enzymatic reactions. We're not going over that, but you can see that calcium would be involved and is necessary for blood clot formation. And then finally, the fibrin threads form and trap the red blood cells. Do you remember when we talked about fibrinogen, which is the plasma proteins? So the plasma proteins, it can be converted to the fibrin threads, and these fibrin threads is going to trap the red blood cells and is making that blood clot. So then this blood clot is going to protect leaking the plasma and form elements from these broken blood vessels. Okay, that is about the platelets. So platelet or thrombocytes are the cells involved in blood clotting, and they are not true cells. They don't have nucleus. They don't have organelles. These are just fragments of the huge cell megakaryocyte. But how the platelets can be formed? So again, let's get back to the formation of the blood cells, which gonna happen in our red bone marrow. Like other blood cells, platelets would be made by red bone marrow as we have the stem cells. So this stem cell can divide and divide and divide and convert to the cells which is called megakaryocytes. So as you can see here, the megakaryocytes are the huge cells, and then their fragments is going to make the platelets. Thank you for watching.